My name is Michael Robertson. I am the Chief Operating Officer here at Adelaide Cemeteries. The Adelaide Cemeteries manages Enfield Memorial Park, Cheltenham Cemetery, Smithfield Memorial Park and the heritage-listed West Terrace Cemetery. We would like to acknowledge that the land we meet on today is the traditional lands for the Kaurna people and that we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. We also acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional custodians of the Adelaide region and that their cultural heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Kaurna people today. To those of you who have previously attended our annual Father's Day services in Enfield Memorial Park, and to those who are joining us for the first time, I would like to warmly welcome you. The Adelaide Cemeteries recognises that for many families today is a day of remembering the special men both past and present in their lives. It is my pleasure to welcome Doug Oakley, Civil Celebrant, to lead us in the annual service of remembrance.
As we think of our fathers, our dads today, our theme is heroes. One of the songs I've heard a few times in services is My Hero by the Foo Fighters. Part of the song says, "There goes my hero, watch him as he goes, there goes my hero, he's ordinary." One of its writers and the band's lead singer, Dave Grohl, says he never had musical or sporting heroes when he was growing up as a child, and so the song is dedicated to ordinary, everyday heroes, just like many of the dads. Another song I hear from time to time in funerals is the one sung by Bette Midler, which says so much. "Did you ever know that you're my hero and everything I would like to be? I can fly higher than an eagle because you are the wind beneath my wings." Today is about celebrating the day of our heroes. While many dads are heroes, we tend to go through stages as to how we view dad. Somebody put it this way, the author unknown: at the age of 4, my daddy can do anything, an absolute hero. At the age of 7, my dad can do quite a bit. At 12, oh well, naturally father doesn't know about that either. 14, father, he's hopelessly old-fashioned. At the age of 21, oh, that man, he is out of date. At 25, he knows a little bit about it, but not much. At 30, I must find out what Dad thinks about it. At 35, before we decide, we'll get Dad's idea first. And then at 50, what would Dad have thought about that? At 60, my dad literally knew everything. At 65, I wish I could talk it over with Dad once more. Today is a day to be thankful for the person who we remember as Dad and for the legacy he leaves. Today is a day to honour our heroes, the dads. I looked up the definition of the word hero. It's a person noted for nobility, of character, or of a person noted for courageous acts, such as our war heroes. I remember doing a service for an elderly gentleman who was one of the rats of Tobruk in World War II. In the military sense, he was a hero. Then there's the emergency service personnel who put their lives at risk on a daily basis. Some of you will know the David Bowie song, simply called Heroes, which was recorded back in 1977. It was inspired by the embrace of a man and a woman by the Berlin Wall. One was from the east and the other from the west. After David Bowie's death, the German government thanked Bowie for helping to bring the wall down. It added, "You are among our heroes." The other definition of hero is a person who, in the opinion of others, has special achievements, abilities, or personal qualities, and is regarded as a role model. This may be a school teacher, a doctor, a nurse, or a sportsman. If, for example, you're a Crows supporter, you might think of Rory Sloane, or Port supporters, perhaps Travis Boak. Or that person might even be your dad. The reality is most of us only know our sportsmen and other celebrity heroes from a distance. But when it comes to dads and granddads, it's usually another story. You know their good points, but you also know they're not perfect. But if anyone outside the family points out their imperfections, I reckon there's a fair chance you'll jump to their defence. We may not always know it, but we do know that dads will always go into bat for us too. Sometimes in funerals, I might hear the thought, typically from a workmate, that goes something like this. He was so proud of his children. He often talked about them. It was so evident that he loved them. And yet he, the dad, may have found it difficult to say those words to his children, even though deep down they probably knew it. Of course, as dads, we don't always get it right. Some dads struggle more than others for whatever the reason. Some may sadly reflect the characters described in the brilliant Harry Chapin song, Cats in the Cradle. It's the story of a dad whose life was too busy to spend with his boy, and later on in life, it was the same old story played out by the next generation, but it was in reverse. The boy was too busy for his dad. As Harry Chapin sings, he'd grown up just like me, my boy was just like me. But there are songs that tell a different story. There's one in particular, not all that well known, written by Paul Overstreet, which I suspect salutes all the dads who take their sons or daughters to footy and netball training, or pick them up from the movies, or go to their calisthenics concerts. The song says, he drives into the city, works extra hard all day. He finishes up early so he can get away, 'cause there's a blue-eyed kid on second base, wants dad to watch him play, and daddy knows he's waiting, so he hurries on his way. 'Cause you know, heroes come in every shape and size, making special sacrifices for others in their lives. No one gives them medals, the world don't know their names, but in someone's eyes, they're heroes just the same. They're the dads. From time to time in a service, I'll hear a son or daughter say something like, "Dad was always there for us." To me, that is one of the greatest compliments you can pay a dad. That thought is put so well in the song Everything I Own, which David Gates wrote after the death of his father. It says, "You sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, kept me warm. You gave my life to me, set me free, set me free. The finest years I ever knew were all the years I spent with you. I would give everything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again." Today is very much about honouring fathers, and hopefully that means good memories for you. We want to salute dads, and hero is not too strong a word. Here's some beautiful thoughts in a poem written by Karen K. Boyer. He never looks for praises, he's never one to boast. He just goes on quietly working for those he loves the most. His dreams are seldom spoken, his wants are very few, and most of the time his worries will go unspoken too. He's there, a firm foundation through all our storms in life, a sturdy hand to hold to in times of stress and strife. A true friend we can turn to when times are good or bad. One of our greatest blessings, the man that we call Dad. I hope you have been able to bring back some of the good memories you have of your dad, one of your heroes. As we come toward the end of my words, I'd like to share a short story. It's a true story and an inspiring story. It's centered around the Olympic athlete, Kip Keino, who comes from Kenya. He's now in his early 80s and he won gold at both the Mexico City and Munich Olympics. He also won silver medals at both those Olympic Games. Naturally, he's a hero in his native Kenya. And as Pat Williams in a book titled Unsinkable writes, he, that's Keino, could be living a lifestyle befitting a hero. Instead, he motors around town in a beaten-up old Nissan. The speedometer doesn't work, the left tail light is broken, it has no hubcaps. Some people have suggested that he buys something a little bit more upscale, but Kip Keino says he would rather spend that money on caring for children. Over a 30-year period, as well as caring for their own 3 children, he and his wife took in more than 100 orphans and abandoned children. Not only that, hundreds of needy children have attended the Kip Keino School in Kenya. Keino says, "I came into this world with nothing. I will have nothing when I leave. When I'm here, I should be mindful of those people who need help. They need food, they need clothing, they need shelter, they need love." He really is a hero. And your dads and granddads may not have been able to take in the orphans, but they have provided you with food, clothing, shelter, but most of all, they've given you their love. As we come to the end of our segment, I'd like to finish with some words that are based on a poem written by a young lady called Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at a funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates of his life, from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of his birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between the years. For that dash represents all the years he spent alive on earth. And only those who loved him know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. It's my hope that you'll have a real sense of peace as you give thanks for your dad, as you reflect on his dash on this special day. And I suspect that his dash has influenced your dash. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug, for conducting our service this morning. I hope that Doug's words and our service today has enabled you to reflect upon the special men in your lives and has brought you some comfort on Father's Day. Being a cemetery, Enfield Memorial Park is aware that it is a long-term relationship and continuing interactions with families and loved ones. To all of you who are fathers, a wonderful Father's Day. Thank you and good morning.